Productions.
Hey, what's shaking, everybody? Hopefully, everybody can hear me all right. I'm still kind of messing around with the sound here. Little update on the past 24 hours, man. Things have been kind of nuts. Kind of nuts, I tell you. I had a part, my car stopped working. I'm not very mechanically inclined, so I'm like, I just put the key in it and it goes, right? And when it's not doing that, I start to panic because how I make my money, some of it is through driving, right? And of course, I need a car to get to my job and just, all other adult purposes, I guess. So I was flipping out, man, and I'm trying to figure out. I was able to hobble to an AutoZone, and they hooked it up to the machine. They say it's the camshaft regulator. So I'm like, all right, that part's like 24, 25 bucks. They don't have it there. So yesterday I take a lift to spend any money that I don't really have, right? Because I still got to get my car payment by the end of the day, basically. And I got the part, got back here. I'm looking online everywhere for, all right, 2006 Subaru Legacy Outback 2.5 Turbo. And apparently Subaru makes 15 different cars a year, all with different types of engines and some shit. So I could not find any specs for it. I couldn't find any videos for it online or just even where to find this thing. So my buddy Bear, who's been on the show before, he comes over to help. And, of course, Bear, he was way more mechanically inclined, so I trust him just emphatically on all this stuff. So he's like, hey, man, don't worry. We'll find it. We'll get it. And we couldn't find it. And we're trying to look around. We thought we had it, then we didn't have it. So we're like, ah, shit. So we take the part back because now we're looking up different things. I'm just doing everything on the search engine on Google to be like, all right, 2.5 Legacy, 2.5 Legacy Turbo, all this other stuff. And I find it's a different part than the one that I have. And I'm like, ah, shit, maybe this is the wrong one. So we go back to the AutoZone. We return the part. And they show us another one that's way more expensive. And at that point, Bear looks at it. He's like, "Dave, I'm officially tapping out of this adventure." And because he didn't want to mess up my car. So, and he wasn't quite sure. And if he wasn't quite sure, he didn't. He knows that all this shit means a lot to me. So, he's being a good friend. I get back to the house and I'm like, I'm frustrated. And I'm like, all right, maybe I'll try calling up some friends, some people who worked on the car before or helped me out previously. Nobody's picking up. So I'm starting to panic, and Jenny, my wife, who's, it's like, don't worry, we'll find a solution. I'm like, I'm sure a solution will present itself. I just have no idea what the hell that is, okay? So it gets to a certain point of diminishing returns when you're searching for shit on the internet. And I finally go, like, I'm only stressing myself out anymore. There's nothing, it's 9 o'clock at night. There's nothing I can do about it right now. So I turn off the computer, and at one point it's funny because Jenny was asking me, like, would ice cream, if we got ice cream delivered, would that help? And I'm like, I don't think it would help. And she's like, oh, because I really wanted ice cream. And I started getting really, really, really upset because, and this is going to sound stupid, but it sounded completely legitimate at the time, is that I can't even get my wife ice cream. What kind of man am I? I can't even keep this car running. What kind of man am I, And she's like, are you okay? It's just ice cream. It's not the end of the world. And I'm just like, I can't even get you ice cream, sweetie. I'm so sorry. I'm a failure, And I don't have many of those moments, but sometimes when they hit, they hit kind of hard. And she's like, we'll find, it'll be okay. And I'm like, all right. So we get ice cream delivered. We're watching some comedy about, Vikings and stuff. And I decided, she goes to bed early. I decided to go to bed early as well. And I have this dream, because of this entire time that I keep thinking about, like, my dad was a heavy diesel mechanic. If anybody would have known how to fix this, he would have known how to fix this. Well, he passed away when I was 12, so I'm not going to be able to ask him, And I have this dream where I happen to be, it's got to be somewhere on Lexington and 85th, between 85th and 83rd back in Manhattan. And I used to live in New York back in the 90s. And I'm walking down the street, and I'm doing one of these things that I used to do when I had like if my buddy John was working and Pete was working, I really had no other friends other than that. You know, not people that I can really talk to. I mean, I had plenty of acquaintances and stuff like that, but at the time I just didn't have a lot of friends. So I used to just walk around the city of Manhattan. So I remember walking into, in this dream anyways, walking to this weird Irish pub that was like super busy, and I'm like, man, I bet they're making a lot of money right now. And like saw the folks that are working there. It was weird. It was this bar, and there was easily at least 10 people behind that bar. It was crazy. So I decided to keep walking downtown, and I'm passing by these folks, and I'm just excited and happy because I'm walking in New York City again. At least in this dream I am, right? And I remember like, all right, what am I going to do here? And I started thinking about how I used to think of the city, is that there's a lot of opportunity here, Dave. There's work for you here. There's shows for you here. You just got to keep walking. You got to keep doing this. You got to keep walking. And I remember waking up, and I had a good like 10 seconds before I remembered that my car was fucked up, and there was a good chance I was going to lose everything. So I'm like, all right, made some coffee. Try to make a few calls, see if maybe Bear might be able to come back and help out, but he's got to go to work, and he's got a bunch of other stuff that he has to do, which I'm glad that he didn't get distracted with all of my shit, and he focused on his stuff. So fucking props to you, Bear. Congratulations on that. And I'm like, all right, I forgot there was this chat room that I occasionally talk to about, for folks on Kick. Yeah, I know. And it turns out 3 of them are mechanics in this chat room. And through their help, because I couldn't even find where the hell this freaking thing was, right? Keep in mind, there are no videos or anything that I found online, because it'll talk about a 2005 Legacy, a 2008 Outback, but for that 2006 Legacy Outback, I could not find shit. And so they kind of show me where this thing is, and I'm like, all right, we're going to deal with this problem bit by bit. If I can get to the thing, that's one little hurdle. I'm scared to take out any of the hoses or disconnect anything, because I usually fuck up at least 4 things when I try to fix one thing on my car. I get the thing off. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me see if I can get it disconnected. I get it disconnected. All right, I'm like, all right, now just I'll walk over to AutoZone, see if they still have the part. It was the same part. I had the right one originally. And as I'm walking to the AutoZone, I pass by this laundromat that's right next to our house, and I look down and I see a wallet. Yeah. I see a wallet, I pick it up, and there's not an insane amount of money inside, but at least close to $100. You know, from what I can tell. I saw there was just 1 or 2 20s folded, and there was more bills underneath that. Point is that there was a lot of money in this thing. Money that I definitely needed. And for a second there, I thought about it. I really, really did think about it. But I remember this one moment when Bear was driving me back from the auto parts store. The apartment complex next to us, somebody's getting their car's being towed in, and it's got a completely smashed front end. And I'm like, man, at least it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. And then I'm thinking about this, and I'm looking at the wallet. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't take this. As much as I need it, I have to keep walking. It's like, that's not, there is no easy way out. I have to work harder. I have to walk more. I got to do all that stuff. So luckily I went in. There was a lady who, she I'd asked the attendant, did anybody lose a wallet? And the lady asked a couple of folks around, and this one gal was just like, oh my God. And she looks in. I'm like, yeah, it was lying outside in the parking lot. And I figured I should, check it, see if it's yours. Seems like there's money in there. And didn't say like, I was totally thinking about robbing you blind, but I didn't. And it took me a little bit. I got the part, went back. I couldn't get the one bolt in. And so I was getting frustrated. I'm like, let me go upstairs for a little bit. Let me relax. Let me just calm down. Let me not freak out about all this shit. And went back down to things. It's running now. I don't know if it's fixed, but I know it's running. And I know that I got a lot of work ahead of me. But for some reason, I felt the need to kind of share all this stuff with you. So I'm not sure when my next interview is going to be, but hopefully it'll be pretty soon. Maybe on Saturday I might have some stuff for you guys. Okay. If not, there'll be these little VODs, video vlogs or whatever they're called. And we'll be doing that a bit more. Okay. So thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it. And I'm going to get the vodcast started here in just a little bit. Y'all have a great day.